the button.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Because and now that's good.
Rachel, this is Bob, N6RFM. Depending on how busy your schedule is, maybe at the end, Gwyn, G3ZIL, and I have been working on a little side project we'd like to bring to the attention of the group and get a little an initial feedback.
Absolutely. Um, N6RFM.
You got
Yeah,
it.
Foxtrot Mike.
and this is David, N1HAC.
Mhm.
I've got something that I would like to bring up, just to mention.
Okay. Announcement or business?
Well, sort of business. Further work for the Personal Space Weather Station, shall we say.
Sure.
I'll be talking about it at the workshop.
Okay. I think the usual announcements of the HamSCI conference is in the spring, near spring, March. New Whisper Demon. And HamSCI 2025 links are out.
2025 or 2026?
Is this 2025?
Yeah, links for last year, John.
Oh, last year. Okay.
This was the recorded talks. Okay. Do we have any updates?
I'll just give a quickie on that. We need to start putting together our list of who I'm going to send out replacement drives to, and let me know when exactly I should do that, because there were 3 or 4 people who seemed like they were initially users of the Grape 2, but then apparently dropped out of the project because we didn't get drives back and this and that. So I need to get some help in figuring out who to send drives to.
Yeah,
It was
Bill, I
probably
have something to point out that my Grape 2 has not been running for a while. I got the new drive and then I never was able to reboot it. And I need to um, figure out what's going on. I think the SD card somehow filled up and it won't reboot. So I probably do not need a new drive, but I do need help getting my Grape 2 back online.
about, you remember about when it quit working?
I I think when I changed the drive.
Oh, so you
Or
don't
oh
have
no,
any.
it might have been somewhat after. I had a power failure and something happened and it just goes into a boot loop, asks for the credentials, and then it goes and asks for it again.
Like your SD card got corrupted.
Right.
So you don't have any data for 2025 then?
Well, I
Something.
don't remember when it failed, but it was somewhere in 2025.
Yeah. But anyway, we need to sort through those issues and figure out who I'm going to send drives out to. So I need some help with doing that.
Yeah, I answered you a week or so ago, Bill. I'm obviously more than willing to help cull through the addresses and I'll take a look in the database to see who's uploading and stuff like that. I mean, that's the first step. If they're uploading every day, we know they're good. And anybody who's not uploading, I'll contact them. Uh, I know that Sean and Mike Neruda obviously dropped out of the program, both of them. If there's anybody else we know for sure, uh, please let me know so I don't bother contacting them. But otherwise, I'll go through and find the missing folks the next couple of days.
Yeah, we should get those drives or the systems back if they're not using them.
Right, good
They're
point.
kind of special.
Right, can't
Yeah,
buy them on
and
Amazon.
Gary, you mentioned looking to see who's uploading every day. I guess you're looking at WWB for that? Because they're not uploading to the personal space for the station network, as far as I know. That is Grape 2's.
Oh, no, they're not. Okay, well, I can look at the WWV server. Yeah.
I think that's, I think they might be uploading to that, but I'm not sure. Um, anyway, it might be a good idea to contact each person and verify that they're still participating. Because we're going to want them to do the same thing. We're going to want to send out a drive and have them return to me the drive from 2025 so I can unload it. So so that is one aspect of things that's going on. Another thing is a lot of my effort right now is going towards adapting the server for the heliocentric API. That's the happy user interface, so that we can make all of our data more accessible, particularly for scientific uses. I'm working with Bob Weigel from George Mason University. He's part of the team that's him, as well as the people for Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Lab, are the developers of that spec. And they're also there's a project going at the MIT Haystack for adapting, putting a happy interface on the front of Madrigal. And it may be that we can use what Bob and I developed and adapt it for that use as well. So that's going to be a win for whoever wants to use this data. There are Python libraries which will use this data directly, so you don't have to worry about anything other than your science objectives when you're working with our spectrum data and magnetometer data. So anyway, that's keeping me busy right now. So anyway, that's my report.
Bill, would you, if when I reach out to these people, I'd like to give them some time frame for the drive swap. Is that imminent, or is that in May, or over the summer, or when would we tell them?
If the drives fill up at the same rate that they have before, we need to get these out to them probably by the end of February, I would think, so that in early March they can do the swap. So the time is about upon us.
Okay, that helps.
Because remember, we had to swap it out right before the eclipse, or right after the eclipse. April was the end date for having everything working. So we got things shipping out mid-March and starting then. So beginning of March would be a good time to swap them out.
Yeah, that's logical. Okay.
And those are going to be sent out from the University of Alabama?
Yes,
Okay.
unless somebody tells me different. I mean, there's no sense in putting them through several different hands if I can just ship them directly to the
That's
user. But I may need to make sure. That's why I need to make sure we need to check everybody's address and keep it in case anybody moved to Florida or whatever people do. Though I don't ship it to the wrong place. So
Because
yeah.
in my case, I'll be getting 3 drives.
yeah, if you want them,
Yeah, I got 2 at home and 1 here at school, so I might as well get them all at one place.
yeah.
Okay.
Bill, I'm looking at the WWV reporter, the Whisper Demon Grape, and it isn't. It was swapped out and isn't currently configured to upload. I'm reconfiguring it right now. It's a new server, so I may need to give you a new public key to put in its account.
Okay, Rob, I'm not quite following you. What is this again? Explain it to me again like I'm a
Uh,
2-year-old, please.
I'm talking about you were saying that you weren't getting reports from WWV, grape reports, and I can
No,
see
no, no.
that.
I mean, from the WWV server, the WWV club server.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about because I can see that the client isn't reporting directly to your PSWS. So,
Bill, talking
Yeah.
about the
bringing up the WWV server, there are 21 stations that reported last night, Grape 2s, that uploaded the CSV file in the log file, their zip formats, but that's what we've been collecting, and we still collect these things from 21 stations. Is there any use for this? That was a discussion we had before, the holidays.
Well, it depends on who you talk to. In the past, our esteemed colleague John has used that to do a multi-station in composite overlay or something, right, John? You use those CSV files to plot the I don't know, it's FLDigi data,
Right.
and you have something that plots several of them so you can see them all in one plot, right?
I'm working on that. But if it's
That's
uploading to
That's
the
what I was
WWV
doing.
server, it's not going to the Alabama server. It can only go one.
that's correct.
So
All
that
this
needs
data
to
is
be
still coming
fixed.
to all this data is still coming to the WWV server. These are the CSV files. You guys are talking about swapping out the hard drive, which has all the DRF data. So it's totally different. The files that are at WWV can be accessed every day, and somebody can look at them immediately instead of waiting a year. And so that's the question: is somebody using these files? And is this
Well, I'm
something that
confused because we have the CSV files being created on Grape 2 that's the same as Grape 1. You sure you're not getting Grape 1 stations uploading to
I
you?
have both of them? This is what you guys designed way back when you first
Yeah,
deployed the
but
Grape 2.
but
I
the
have,
Grape 2s are
I have,
supposed to be switched over to Alabama. Am I not right,
well,
Bill?
no, they're not. That's one of the projects that
That's
I'm
not a
bringing
problem.
back up. Do we want the Grape 2 CSV files, not the, year-long storage that we're talking about swapping drives for? Do we want the daily data uploaded to Alabama? And that's
That's
something we have not tackled.
Yeah, that's something where I thought we did. Bill Blackwell, can you answer anything on that? Do you remember if we changed that?
No.
Okay, so what we did for Grape One, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was we converted the upload procedure from uploading to WWV server to upload to the PSWS server at Alabama. We need to do the same for the Grape 2 CSV file.
Oh, I thought that had already been done. Okay.
That's
And
why I'm bringing it up.
Oh,
the
yeah, that's a problem.
the multiplots that have been referred to was we're being done for the Grape 1 data. We can do it for Grape 2 as well, but both of, we're not doing multiplots for Grape 1 now because most Grape 1 FLDigi stations have converted to the new upload site, and I can't download that data automatically
Okay.
yet.
So we got some homework to do here.
Now,
So
I
Bill, you're
should.
saying you can't do the multi-plots now? You're not it.
I
It's
can't
not
do the
possible to do.
mul I can't do the multiplots for Grape 1. Uh, I could do them for Grape 2, but it doesn't make much sense since they're going to be migrated to Alabama for me to get started on that. So uh, I mean, there's a number of things that need to be done to start. We need to start moving the Grape 2 uploads from the current server to the Alabama server.
Right.
And we also need to get a procedure in place for swapping the disk for Grape 2. That I developed one for last year. I need to modify that this year because some of the tasks that we did last year are no longer necessary this year. So I need to get to work on that, on both those projects.
Yeah, Bill, we'll talk offline about this when you have the bandwidth to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I should mention that the hard drives, as I received them, contain the all of the FLDigi data as well as the spectrum data, and I've been importing that into PSWS. So for a given day of Grape 2, the data package could have a couple of different files. There's actually two of them, two observations. One is that the data that's been converted into digital RF format, and one that is just the conventional CSV file that comes out of FLDigi. And I've been trying to make sure, because I was thinking that some of the analysis that you, John, were doing and the multiplot or whatever needs that FLDigi data. We can
Yes.
certainly set it up so that that stuff can be pushed to the PSWS box on a daily basis, which is what I think what we're talking about here.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so
I think
just
what I
that,
did is I confused the fact that we had done that already for the FL Digi data, but we didn't do, we're doing the CSV.
We were doing it
yeah,
for Grape 1 FL Digi-Data, but not Grape 2.
Right, but the Grape
right.
2 CSV data is going to Alabama, though. No, that's only
No,
when you load the drives. That's right. That's where I got confused. We got it from the drives, but we're not doing it in real time.
right.
Yeah. Another thing that's confusing about it is that the wide spectrum data on the Grape 2, the wide spectrum and the FL Digi data are both producing CSV files. But when I get them, I get the CSV file that's a wide spectrum and convert that to digital RF, and that's what I store in PSWS per Nathaniel's direction.
Okay.
Nathaniel is not that enthusiastic about working with CSV files. He preferred to do everything with digital RF, but I don't know any easy way of doing the multiplot and some of those other things with digital RF data because
Yeah, that's a large undertaking.
there's nothing in common between them.
No.
So, Bill,
So
Engelke is the data that is the FL Digi data that we can do the multiplots from. You said that data is actually on the hard drives as well, correct? You have two different CSV files. You have the one that you convert to DRF, and then you have the CSV file that is the FL Digi output. Is that correct?
yeah, there are
And
actually
so
four
when you
directories.
archive it, you're only archiving the digital RF. You're not archiving the FL Digi data.
No, Dave. That's not what I'm saying. I'm archiving the digital RF and I'm archiving there's 5, 10, and 15. There's directory R1, R2, and R3. Each one contains the FLDigi CSV files. And I wasn't going to archive that, but then since when I found out there's this multiplot and some of these other applications that need it, I started putting all that in the database as well.
So you can access that, but only from the after you've downloaded the hard drive, potentially a year after the data is collected. Correct? So
Right.
Right.
Bill Blackwell could go back and potentially get that FL Digi CSV file and build a multiplot. Is it available on the server so you could do that?
I'm right now finishing that up. I got a portion of it out there right now, but
Okay, very good. Yeah, that's I guess what the question is. Ultimately, can you go back and do the multiplots? But if we want to continue to do it on a potentially a daily basis for an event that suddenly happens, um, we can't do that unless you download the data from WWV.
Right.
And
get it from WWV. And another thing we can do, and probably would be a good idea, would be to update, and Bill Blackwell was saying this a few minutes ago, add some code to the Grape 2 so that it pushes the data to the Personal Space Weather Station Network server rather than the WWV server.
Right.
that's perfect. That would be great. And that way, maybe you could access it from the PSWS
Well,
on a
the other
daily
thing I'm
basis.
working on, Dave, is I'm rewriting the code that does the daily plots to be able to do the three different bands. Because right now the directory structure is all completely
Right.
different. So I just have to, the thing that's holding me up is I really need to do it in how you input it. I could have you type in the day, but it would make more sense if you want to point and shoot for a given date for the plot to be generated. So I have to create a directory structure and there's a whole thing in the Python code I'm going to have to rework, but I am working on being able to create the daily plots locally so you can look at
All
them.
right. Well, at some point, it still sounds like it would be good to have the daily plots. Um, you know, uh, the most recent ones because of an event comes along or something like that. So the task is to rewrite the upload from the WWV to the PSWS. And that's the same thing that we did with the Grape 1 data. And so it's basically doing the exact same thing. And then how Bill Engelke merges that once he gets the hard drive back, maybe it'll have the same data if it duplicates it. If I'm hearing it right, that the
Yeah,
same
yeah. I mean,
SVG data is on the data. So maybe he just replaces that data. You can still get to it though. That's the point.
yeah.
So
I
we
mean,
want to be able to
if
get to
we're
it in the
getting it
short
uploaded,
term. Yeah, we just want to get it in the short term potentially, for some special event comes along, and then of course it'll be there in the long term. So that's cool. That sounds really good.
Question for Bill
yeah,
Engelke. Are you saving the plot files as well from every day from Grape One?
I have them. In a number of cases, those have been replaced with updated plots, but they look different. They are the Christina/Nathaniel plots.
Oh,
I do have those plots, but I don't know whether I don't know how important it is to have them. Uh,
because
I
we
know
could
that.
generate them every day on the Grape 2s, but then that's additional data that has to get uploaded.
Well, I think that is being generated already on the Grape 2.
Grape 2 is not generating daily plots.
Correct.
That's funny because I sure do seem to see them there, but I don't know what those plots are then.
They
Um,
might be the digital RF plots.
No, I think Grape 2 is
maybe.
generating plots, John,
It
himself.
is.
Oh,
Uh, one for each station, frequency, and a magnetometer plot. But I don't know if we're uploading them.
Okay, I'll have to take a look at that. I don't remember doing that.
I think the data is on the hard drives when they get turned
Yes,
into me.
yes, because we use the full spectrum plot to create the magnitude and frequency shift plots. But I didn't know we were doing the magnetometer. Well, Bill Blackwell and I will have to look at this and figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just one little asterisk. A couple of people who said that they were going to run magnetometers apparently didn't actually do it because the KD8OXT spreadsheet that I got about a year and a half ago had more magnetometer people on it than what actually got submitted on the hard drives that were turned in. So I don't know what happened there. Another thing and to tie this back to my earlier discussion about the heliophysics API, this is an ideal place to make use of the heliophysics API, and that's going to make all the problems with data access to that data go away because it's designed for exactly what you want to do, John. You get a library, and it's point and click to get the data. And so all the work is done for you at the server, and that's what we're trying to accomplish.
Ah,
So,
okay,
uh, so we've got an immediate use for this API once we get it running to allow you to do the multi-plot or whatever other plots you want to do more conveniently. So
okay. I
anyway,
will work with you on that before I
yeah,
really dive in and make sure we're doing the right thing. I don't want to swamp you and I don't want to surprise you.
okay, back to net.
Just a quick follow-up, Bill. Is there, or maybe this is for John, is there an image that I can reflash my SD drive,
Yeah, it
SD
should.
card?
Yeah. Trying to think because I have been keeping an image running continuously when Bill Blackwell does updates. I've got one that has been following it, but I have to confirm with him that I've got all the updates. And that would be this would be a good reason to verify that and then make an image for you.
Okay. Yeah, because
Uh,
yeah, I
When I
was
send it
working
out,
with Bill a bit with that, and it seemed like it had filled up or something.
yeah, it
But
sounds like
the
your
best
card.
thing is probably if you have an image, just
yeah.
reflash it.
Dave, you and I had an email exchange several
Right.
months ago. I guess I don't know if I didn't follow up on it or what, but I think I suggested a couple of tests to see what was going wrong with that system. I might try to find that, and we might
Yeah,
want to
we
do some diagnostics before you replace the SD card because the problem
okay,
might
fair
be
enough. Yeah,
on the hard drive.
let's work on that. I got busy with other things.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know that feeling.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get it back online. Oh, and I happen to be one of the magnetometers that hasn't been sending data because another, similar situation. I got the magnetometer in the winter, so I wasn't able to bury the uh, the head, and here it is winter again. So
You can get a little frozen dirt stop you?
yeah, really.
Is everybody reassessing the depth you have to bury the magnetometer all of a sudden because of the cold?
Well, that is a good question. I always wondered about that because they say it freezes 6 feet down here.
That's wild because now in Ohio, we only go down, well, the frost line is officially 36 inches, but it's really around 24.
Yeah, no, here we get colder than you guys. You get modified by the Great
Yeah.
Lakes.
Yeah.
And especially this year, this is a very cold one right now. I expect the frost line's going way down.
Yeah. My car was reading -1 degrees coming in yesterday.
Yep. Well, we haven't gotten the -20, -30 we used to, but we've been staying around zero a
Yeah.
lot
Hmm.
It's been
and not
unusually
much
cold
snow
here
cover
for
until
here.
this last storm.
So, Bill Engelke, what temperature did you get down to down there? 35?
Well, no, the lowest, no, it's been down in the low 20s.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and the
That's
other
cold.
day it stayed below freezing all day. And oh boy, they closed the school. They closed the University of Alabama for that. They were
Really?
uh, the problem you have is black ice on the interstate, and
Oh,
that leads to death if you hit that. So
Oh,
uh,
yeah.
and there's nothing that they do to treat it here. They have
yeah.
nothing to
Right.
offer. So
2
they
Here
weeks
we
ago, we
expect
got
it.
black
Down
ice
there,
and
you
it was
don't.
nasty.
Yeah, so
That's nasty stuff to drive on. Oof.
it's cold here now. It's maybe 28 degrees here now.
Do you have
That's cold
exploding
for us.
trees down there too, Bill? Do you have exploding trees?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't. I think it's got to get colder than that for
Yeah,
that to
that's not
happen.
cold enough to explode them, but there are places down there that have.
Was the water in the tree just freeze and then explode?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's cool, I guess. I've never
Our
seen
trees are
that.
used to it. Those
Yeah.
aren't.
Yeah, they drain themselves before winter.
It's oftentimes very dramatic.
I can imagine.
Yeah, the Weather Channel had some pictures.
Yeah, I saw some video of this. It happened a lot after ice storms where the tree is loaded down with a vast amount of ice, so it's under a tremendous amount of stress to begin with, and then when it gets down low enough so that even the water inside the tree freezes, the tree just comes apart.
Right.
Well, on that happy note, Rob, any updates on Whisper stuff?
No, other than Bill, I'm going to send you a new public key for the so that WWV can upload. Um, I guess the other thing we've encountered is the in the Whisper Demon Grape we have a number of sites now that we have a lot, 50 or 60 running, where the triple eights are going bad and they stop transferring data. So Paul WB6 CXE is working on a replacement, which we really need our own unit, and I'm not sure how we deal with these broken RX triple eights. But I'll also get, I am monitoring reports of um, sites, Whisper Demon Grape sites that are not uploading, but and I'm trying to go through and fix them. But ones with hardware problems, I'm not sure how we have a solution other than well, I've found a firmware workaround that I'm deploying. But in the long run, we need a way to burn in our triple eights and before we ship them out. And I don't know, Emma's not is she part of this call? Because I think she's been trying to do documentation. She's been tasked with that. So for installation and maintenance of Whisper Demon grape sites. So um, the at the moment, all of the Whisper Demon grape stuff seems to be off in a corner with nobody really tasked with monitoring them, and I'm busy with database stuff, so it's hard for me to keep up with it. So I hear you guys talking about the Grape One and Grape Two missing and addressing those issues. I'm not sure there's anybody who really has taken ownership of the Whisper Demon Grape stuff. Do we know that of that? Is there someone who would be doing that?
Well, Christina's got the title of Chief Operations Scientist for the PSWS project, so I'm
Yeah, I think
sounds
that
like
that should be on my purview. So I just got back into town after travel last week. I've got the RX 888 that you sent me, and I'm working on documentation with Emma. So let's see. What? Tell me a little bit more about the monitoring needs. You need us to keep track of which stations are up and down, or
Yeah, the PSWS has a feature where you can check it and it will generate emails if a reports are missing. And I think a whole bunch of the Whisper Demon grave sites are not. In fact, I'm just looking at WWV. They've been marked as idle, and I don't even get messages about them not reporting.
okay.
But if they've been reporting and they stop reporting, and the reports don't show up within a few hours, I guess, after UTC 0, then they generate an email. Those come to me right now, and some of them have been not reporting at all, and so I don't even know. I'd be very happy to share my PSWS account with you, and if there's some way to I could have configure Gmail to forward these reports. Um, to you. I'd be happy to do it that way.
That
If
would
that
be a really good way to do it.
Okay, well,
Yes.
I will do that. But the second thing is I've got to go through I configured a bunch of sites under my PSWS account. Most of the Whisper Demon Grave sites are under my account. So I can send you login reports for that, the login credentials, so you could log into my account and look at all of the I don't. I mean, I don't. There may be 20 or 30 uh, stations there. I can't. I don't think it gives me. It doesn't give me a list of how many stations uh, I have, but I have 5 pages. Well, let's see. If I have 5 pages and there's four of them on each page, there must be 20 pages, and a bunch of them are marked as retired, which should not need should not be retired. They should be reporting. Really what I just need is I'm happy to help, but I need somebody who's the kind of first layer looking at these, detecting them, and then you can bug me, send me an email. But if I were to set this up to forward those reports from stations registered to my account, um, and if you were to include those, if you're monitoring the other stations, these stations should be generating a lot of information and observations, and I'm not sure they all are. That many of them are online. I have remote access to them. I just haven't been looking at uh, any Whisper Demon climate stuff much since the last couple of months since I'm working on databases.
Sounds good. I'll look forward to
Okay.
digging into it.
Good. Now let's get you on as one of those. You can
Hmm.
uh, one of those reporting stations. So
I This is N1HIC. I have an update on funding for personal space weather stations. I don't know where that would come in here.
High priority.
Yeah.
I'm a member of the TAPR board, and we have been requested by ARDC to send back the funds that have not been used on the Tangerine SDR project. So that's being closed out. Um, but they are also quite open to funding our further developments, presumably our RX-888 replacement, but that does have to be submitted as a new grant request.
Who was designing the new RX-888?
Paul Elliott, WV6CXC is working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, we know that Tom is also working on a 4-channel.
Yeah, that's the different. Yeah, there's
That's
two.
different, but that would be also,
Yeah,
know,
that would be great.
included.
Yeah.
I'm really pushing for the 4-channel because I'd like to be able to get angle of arrival information. And this will relate to my new business as well.
All right. Christina, any other updates from you or from anyone?
No other updates from me.
Okay. Gary?
Yeah, maybe we covered it already. I was just curious to know if we know what the K3LR status is at, because that's such a high profile station and we had a lot of issues last fall. And last I heard, we were going to try and send them a new RX-888. I don't know if that's happened or if anybody knows. Yeah, if Emma's not on the call, we might not know. So, okay,
I
I guess
think
we'll.
it was tasked to Emma. I haven't heard seen any shipping information. I think she has a set of replacements out there, triple eight. So, um, I'll send an email to her and to Phil at K3LI and see if it's back online. I could check quickly. See if I can access it. Let's
Yeah,
see.
Rob, regarding the failed RX-888s, I don't know if I know like Mike Howen, I can do some. There are others of us that might be able to look at those, see what's failed, and sometimes it's a fairly simple repair.
Well, the problem has been that there's extremely intermittent. I mean, we went through a attempt to debug what's happening.
Right,
The symptom is that the AAA disappears from the USB bus.
right.
And the only way you can restore it to operation is to literally repower. One way to do that is to replug it, the RX 888. And we had one that was failing at fairly regularly at N6GN site, and then he has two receivers, so we swapped the triple eights, and the problem would not follow the triple eight. We're back in a state where it's back in the original condition and it's no longer failing. So we have a
Hmm.
new, we have the other site that I know of where the triplets are failing is at the new Baldock site in the UK, which is uh, the UK's FCC has a receive monitoring site out in rural England, and that one was failing, and we don't have a replacement there. We do have new firmware for the triple eights, that the firmware inside the 888 triggers a watchdog, has a watchdog running, and if it doesn't see any USB transfers for 20 seconds, it restarts, reboots the system on its own. It has the 888 reboot itself. There's a
Oh,
microcontroller.
interesting.
And I've just sent an email off to Gwen and to others in this project about it. Introducing the watchdog does seem to at least recover the site. It does reattach. It reappears on the USB bus without the replugging. Um, so I think I'm going to make that firmware, the Watchdog firmware, the standard firmware used by Witcher Demon when it's communicating with the 888. But I mean that's a band-aid. The real
Right.
problem is what is causing this to occur, and we don't really know that. And since we have so little information about the provenance of AAAs, it's hard to invest time in trying to debug a problem that it's probably a manufacturing problem. We've encountered problems with it appear to be soldering problems on the boards and
Right.
such that are
Well, I've also found temperature sensitive 5351s,
yeah we
which is
haven't yeah
annoying. They're
yeah
using knockoff 5351s.
yeah yeah well we haven't we have I don't- it seems like the firmware, the watchdog, by fixing it, the recovering the watchdog firmware does seem to indicate there isn't a permanent problem with any of the with the board. It is a transient problem,
Right.
which
We may
is
want to talk about that some at the technical session.
yeah. Well, anyway, uh, that's what I'm working on. K3LR, let's see, LS I'm logged on there. Whoops. Let's see, LS.
Rob, I have an extra RX 888 if you need one.
Now, there should be like a dozen of them at Scranton, and I was hoping that they would connect them up and actually burn some of them in to.
That was what I suggested that Emma do. It's so I but I she hasn't communicated with me for a while, so since the new year. So I don't know really what she's working on. Um let's see. I don't see the 888 at K3LR, so I'll
Okay.
generate an email to them right now.
Yeah, last I saw, Nathaniel sent a note to that to Tim or whoever at K3LR asking for a shipping address, and I didn't see a reply back.
I
But
I did. I got the shipping address,
okay.
but
But anyhow, okay. If you're going to contact Emma, that's great. That brings us up to date. Thanks.
yeah, I've
URZ probably has it.
Well, never assume.
Gary, before your other point of business, did you feel like this was satisfactorily discussed, or do you want to talk to
No. It's good. We're good. Thank you.
um reconnecting Noel?
Yeah, I've got a request from a ground magnetometer host who was uploading to the central control system up through, I think, November of 24. And he had some local issues and stuff, and he's putting his gear back online, and he wants to know how to get started again, uploading the data from his HamSCI ground magnetometer to the CCS. And I'm not sure who to connect him to or who he should talk to because I certainly can't give him any advice.
Well, it's the same Tapper grant magnetometer that we've been using and with a Raspberry Pi and
Yeah, caveat. Yes, he has one of those, and he's got three or four other styles of instruments, I believe. And I'm not so worried about them. He may not realize that we can't just accept anything, but I would like to get his Tapper ground mag working.
yeah, I guess you better have him talk to me.
Okay, I used your retiree address at the U of A. Is that the correct one, Bill?
Yeah, I've got like 6 different email addresses that all dump into the same inbox, so they all work.
Okay, I'll use that one. You'll see me copy him on the correspondence. That's it. We're good, Rachel. Thank you.
Just as a side note, I have probably a half a dozen of the ground magnetometers that work with grapes twos. If anybody has a grape two and wants to add it, wants one. They're sitting here in my office collecting dust.
Yeah. John,
Yes.
just a point. My magnetometer in the Grape 2 in North Carolina has stopped working, and the limited troubleshooting I did seems to point to the problem being in the Grape 2.
Hmm.
And that's where I'll leave it, but I haven't been back there and I won't be get back there till probably late February, but um I don't know what other than maybe sending it home for real service. I don't know if there's anything I can do or not.
The biggest problems I've seen is usually with the cable.
Well, I plugged a spare magnetometer i- into the Grape 2
Hmm.
and it doesn't work. It worked, and
Interesting.
I've certainly checked the cables and everything. So
Okay. Yeah, obviously I
Bob,
can't.
we could try to run the Run Mag test
yeah,
program
Yeah.
directly from
Right.
the grade.
Yeah, I
Well,
forgot.
John, does the
we're
Grape 2 mag have a different addressing? Or does it use the same addressing as the
No, it's different.
original mag?
It
Yeah,
got
it is.
changed midpoint by, what was it, Scotty? At some
Yeah,
point, he had
he
changed the
redid
address, and I
something.
stuck with that. And
So,
yeah,
Bob, it makes a difference which
which
vintage you
board?
have.
Yeah, which board?
But
well, I
uh,
bought a new board
can I
and plugged it into the Grape 1 or into the Grape 2. I mean, with a 2 foot cable and got the same response of
Yeah, we'll need to,
nothing.
as Bill Blackwell suggested, we need to run that
Yeah, yeah. Well,
magnetometer test because
we,
it might be
we
something silly like you got the wrong address.
Dave Witten, I think you're on,
oh,
and you had a remark.
can I just make a quick remark? We've been rewriting some of the magnetometer, rewriting Run Mag essentially, and also making a dashboard. There's a ongoing stuff around all that, and also another external interface. But and that's all a work in progress. But I just wanted to make the point that I have been trying to put more diagnostics into that code that lets you see the at least gives you the option of seeing, is there a magnetometer out there? Is there, what addresses are there on the bus? Is there a bus? On several different simple options, but and also it's disciplined better. It more like the run mag that works with Grape 2 was better than the original anyway, but we've made this so it's more like that. And also another goal of this is to make it as a standalone, make a suite of things for use in experiments and things that stand alone, like pedagogic, teaching, classroom teaching and stuff too. So there's work on all those fronts. And as it stands, the code I have right now is not set up to you can't just flop it on on an existing Pi setup and do a diagnostic on it. But that's a thought. I might want to put some of that into a version just for testing or something that might be helpful. It doesn't tell you a lot, but it tells you some.
That kind of
I
stuff is useful when you're setting it up because you have to align it.
That there's stuff like that too.
Yeah, that's
Um,
that's He sort of had a, yeah,
Well, also, it's the newer code has the ability to record the fact that or at least acknowledge the fact that it may not be set up and uh, on exactly the position that we assumed it was, and so rearrange the axes at least on 90-degree increments. Didn't make it infinitely variable, but didn't want to get too carried away.
yeah,
So, but just so people know, I wouldn't expect that to be offered as a general tool until maybe next summer. We have a student working on it. But in cases of of in special cases where someone really has a problem to try to figure out or something, I would do what I can to accommodate somebody with an ad hoc tool that might be helpful, in an otherwise inaccessible situation or something.
Okay, Dave. Thank you. Yeah, this was working fine and failed. I mean, it wasn't so.
Yeah,
Like I say, it's a failure and not a.
yeah.
I couldn't get it to work.
not an installation problem. It's an actual
No.
failure. Yeah,
Yeah, well,
it's a big
there are
difference.
two families for the most part, two different um, magnetometers configurations out there. Mostly, almost all the ones you have the temperature and the mag sensor all at um, I can't think the addresses, but one pair of addresses. But there were ones and the ones I designed generally went to the chip defaults, but I don't remember what we put in the grape 2. Uh,
Yeah, I've got a document, but I don't remember off the top of my head. 18 and 19 hex comes to mind for that. I think,
okay, well, those are the 18, 19, and 20 were a
yeah,
local remote and magnetometer. And those are the natural defaults for those chips.
right.
They could be changed, but the ones sold by Tapper are at, I think, usually at 19 and 23, and there's no local temperature sensor and there's a flag to disable that well, at least on most of it, I don't know, because all it did was report the temperature of where it sat next to the Pi CPU or something,
Yeah.
but anyway, um, if someone really has an extreme situation that they need a little help with, I might be able to accommodate some way. Can't promise.
Yeah, I have to bring myself back up to speed on that. I haven't looked at it in over a year.
Okay. Without much further ado, any other questions, comments, or concerns on that? Because I believe N6RFM, you had a project update you wanted to share.
Yeah, good morning and good afternoon, I think some of you. My name is Bob, N6RFM. I'm one of the contributors of data. I have a Grape 1 DRF set up here in North Texas. And about 10 days ago, and every once in a while I look at the data and I use Bill's plotting software and I ooh and ah and I go, oh, those features are neat, but I don't always understand what I'm looking at. And Dave sent an email out on the reflector about 10 days ago, N1HAC, saying, hey, there's a major solar storm in progress. And that prompted me to get off my duff and look at some of the data that had been coming in. And once again, I observed some very interesting things that I didn't quite understand. So I went noodling around on the website, the HamSCI website, for something that might help me in my quest to further understand what I was looking at, and plenty of references to look at. A few of them were behind firewalls that sort of stopped me. A bunch of abstracts to look at, but nothing really convenient. And so I wondered, would it be helpful if there were some sort of atlas available on the website with some representative data, not only for this project, but maybe all of the HamSCI projects? And I reached out to Gary, AF8A, and I said, hey, Gary, is this a crazy idea? And he said, no, not necessarily. Why don't you go a little further and maybe you can bring it to this group, among others. And being a novice at this is not my professional area of expertise. I reached out to Gwyn, G3ZIL, who demonstrably has a lot more expertise than I do. And he readily agreed to help be a partner on this idea. He's on this call. And so the proposal is for consideration. There's a couple of slides if people want to take a moment to look at them. Is to just using some of the data associated with this big G7 solar storm that just blew by, a couple of days before, a couple of days after, create sort of an annotated series of spectrograms with some, expert Gwyn's input as to what we're looking at that could be uploaded onto the HamSCI website for people like me that don't always know what what they're seeing, and then maybe as a prompt for other people who are part of this greater network, part of the grape type family of receivers, WhisperNet, all that sort of stuff, and magnetometers say, hey, maybe we can add some of our own data up there so that when users or people who have an interest are going to look at these sorts of things, they don't have to go to the library or get through a firewall and sift through academic, very well written, of course, academic peer-reviewed papers that go far beyond the scope of what a casual user might be interested in looking at. So that's the proposal. Is this the kind of thing that resonates with this group? Does it merit Gwyn and I taking this further, or should we just go in a different direction?
It sounds like an excellent idea to me because
Yeah.
the vast majority, including myself, doesn't really understand what a lot of the stuff's going on. I mean, I have a basic understanding, but I don't have enough to be able to say, yeah, this is what's happening. I think that's an excellent idea. I fully support that. Gary?
Oh yeah, yeah. Bob and I have been talking. I said you just need to get, and he's doing it. You get the right people to create the content, and we'll get it up on the HamSCI website or a presentation at a workshop or at a Ham Fest or something, or maybe all the above.
Because that's how you get people interested in it, is you present it at the basic level so they can have an understanding of what they're doing. And I would venture to guess the vast majority of the people collecting this data have no idea what they're collecting. So I think
John,
it's a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
amen, John. Amen to both of you. I think this is an excellent project, and I'd be glad to assist. I'll put it that way.
I mean, I know the hardware, but I fully do not understand the physics of what's going on. And you're not alone in going, what? Ah!
Yeah. Maybe the idea that's in my head at least is not getting too deep into the weeds with the science, but making
Right.
it so that, at least someone who has a system and has gotten that far can begin to develop an understanding as opposed to, there be no math, no equations, nothing like
No.
that.
And actually, that's actually a really good idea to put on the website because if you want to attract more users, that's the basic level stuff you need to present to get them interested. Because that's the kind of stuff they're looking for. They see the equations, their eyes are just going to glaze over. So yeah, you're right on, you're spot on the money there.
I'd be interested in
My
getting
partner in
involved in
this.
this. I'd be interested in getting involved too. As an educator, I think it'd be really fun to take part in trying to educate people. So
Okay.
I'll help too.
Awesome. Gwyn is here. I'd welcome his input um, and maybe we'll once we get after that we'll I think my proposal would be that Gwyn and I finish what we started to take it to some reasonable point and then figure out a mechanism to share it with this larger group to see if it makes sense for further review, editing, and how to translate it into something that could appear on the web or
I think
beyond.
absolutely terrific, Bob, and thank you so much for reaching out to me. And I've reviewed, just over the last 24 hours, some of your initial work. And what's absolutely fascinating is that some of it is perfectly obvious. Some of it is interesting because I know and I've seen it before, and I'm very sure what it is. Then some of it falls into the category, I've seen that before, but I've always wondered what it is. And the last category is goodness me. Where's that come from? So I've learned along the way. I am not, as you all know, really, I'm not an ionospheric physicist. I'm an oceanographer. Um, but each time you see something and you see a pattern, and the spectrograms are a wonderful pattern recognition for the challenge for the eye, and that's what's intriguing. So all power to your elbow, as we'd say over here, Bob, and glad to be on board.
I'm not even an oceanographer. I'm just a lowly double E, and I don't understand it. So you're a step above me, Gwen.
Oh, no, no, no.
Two steps, okay.
No, no.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, and thank you, David for the prompt, and Gary for the pointers, and Gwen for will helping me, get off the dime and understand a little bit more. Gwen and I will take it a little bit further, and we'll create maybe a draft document to share, with this group, and figure out a way to get more refined input. I'll put it that way, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I think the one of the National Science Foundation's objectives and part of the goals for this project is to make the data and the knowledge revolving around it more accessible, more widely available, get more people involved, and for for educational purposes, and also, some citizen scientists may cook up some new theory that holds water that can then be developed into more understanding. So I think there's support for what you want to do in the project actually from official channels. So
If I can offer a comment, I have both original grape and grape DRF stations running here, and the data, the chart from the grape original is vastly easier for me to understand than what's coming out of the DRF. Just a quick comment.
That's why I'm working on the upgraded one that I'm going to distribute to all the Grape 2 so you can do that.
Thank you.
Oof, that is a great idea. I think it'll also be a very convenient launching point for people instead of being like, would you like to collect squiggly lines? To be like,
They come in red and black.
Or even worse, blind data.
Yeah.
There's Gary's observation that he sent out in an email about deciphering graphs with a king and I, and
That was good.
okay. N1HAC. Was this the tapper bit you'd asked for some?
No, this is something completely different.
Ooh.
As I have mentioned before on these forums, we have had a major NASA mission approved, which is called Cinema. It's a 9 spacecraft mission that will be in low Earth orbit. They're particle detector spacecraft the primary intent is to image the geotail by watching the particles being thrown back at the Earth when the tail reconnects and snaps back. And there is also supposed to be a citizen science component, which we call movie, which I'm expecting to have our HamSCI personal space weather stations involved with. It involves magnetometers, all sky cameras, various other aspects that can be set up by citizen scientists. And the the cinema mission has been approved. It's now in its design phase, what we call phase B. And the citizen science itself hasn't been funded yet, but we expect it to be. It is part of the mission, and so we'll be giving a presentation on this at the workshop. But I thought I'd let people know about this, that we will be looking for HamSCI involvement. Nathaniel and Christina have been in on the planning for this, so this is not a surprise to some of us. But as this mission has in fact been approved, we were waiting for quite some time. It was originally supposed to be, we thought, back in April. It finally was approved just maybe a month or so ago. But it's a $180 million project, which Dartmouth is quite excited about. Our principal investigator, Robin Millen, who I work for, is the PI on it. But we're all very excited about the main mission and the citizen science that will be attached to it. Oh, and one aspect of it that I want to, yes, there you go.
Wow.
I'm very interested in our time of flight measurement stuff, because that also may be able to be used to image our ionosphere in ways that we haven't been able to yet. So that will involve both. That we may be able to use WWV for it. We may be able to use amateur signals with embedded timestamps, that sort of thing. But I know that there are people working on that.
Well,
Okay. Any other questions, comments, or concerns?
All right, Joe, I'll just say that my legacy grape's been up a little over 3 years now, 1,121 days.
Nice.
Yeah, congratulations on crossing the century or the millennium mark and then some.
Yep.
Awesome. I think your grape is only slightly younger than my niece.
It's turning into a raisin.
All right. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? All right. 73, everyone. Have a lovely day.
73.
Bye-bye.
7-3.